We were New Yorkers who couldn't afford to live in New York anymore. We decided to do nonprofit work, and you can't live in New York that way if you do nonprofit work. So we were searching for a place, and the housing stock here was dreadful. So I said, stop showing me houses, let's look at land. I had been the editor of a newsletter at Tarrytown, and Chris had spoken there. And I did this article about his speaking and thought, I'm a New Yorker, I'm never gonna build a house, but if I ever did, I'd wanna do it this way. So suddenly I have land and no house. And then I called him and I said, I went and got pattern language, I read it. What do I do now? I can't build a house. And he said, oh, I'll build it for you. I almost fainted. I was so shocked. He said, well, we were having a meeting of the staff and we figured, okay, everything we've done has been in California and we need a different climate. And the phone rang to build in a rainforest in the Pacific Northwest. So here we go. This space has been described in the tax rolls as a carport. It's not. These tiles are in the ceiling in wood in the living room. We just picked up the same design for the tiles. And they are clay from Mount Rainier. This is the only flat land in the 20 acres. In site repair, Chris built the whole thing off the cliff. There is a triangular cement foundation off the cliff so that we could have a yard. We could have bocce games and grow some herbs. Otherwise, the house would have been sitting here and we'd have nothing but drop off. This follows the ridge. It goes off the ridge, but it follows it. And it's only one room deep. So it's like being on a train. The rooms are all sort of strung together. Okay, let's go inside. People come here and they see England, they see Japan, they see all kinds of factors that were all in Chris's head. Okay, squeeze in. Every little passageway is a place. There's a place to sit. There's things happening. It's not just something to pass through. I have had so many workmen come in here and say, oh, this is bad, we need to paint this white. No, we don't. Dark colors work just fine because that was the intent. You go toward the light. And there are brownies. You guys have had lunch, right? When we moved in here, we had a hot plate and a microwave. And I cooked Thanksgiving dinner on it that way. You know, the whole place was built in white cardboard, full scale. We had a whole truck full of white cardboard out there, and he made John sit over there and say, okay, how high should this windowsill be? Can you see over this? Can the person standing here talk to you if you're over there? It was all played out, like role-playing in white cardboard before the wood was cut.
My height was an important factor.
Yeah, it was.
And washing my dishes, I had to look through here at just the right angle. I mean, that took days for him to figure out.
This is sort of like living on a boat, you know, that you tuck in.
There is a sense here that the room hugs you.
It is an embrace, an absolute embrace. And then this low wall to the ground, which was so not what I thought would work, because you want to have a place here where you can do stuff, right? It's much more beautiful if you just look outside.
But the construction here is frame or is it solid wall?
It's 2x10s.
2x10s.
The regulations require 2x4s, and the building inspectors kept saying, you know, you don't have to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, we do,
Yeah.
because it changes the reveals. It gives you these beautiful deep reveals. It changes the sound. It is so quiet in this house, and it's about 2x10s.
Yeah.
And also, there was a choice of where the money available would go. We said, we were not rich people. And we said, put it in the structure.
Yeah.
This little space here was not in the original thinking. The rooms were against each other, and there was no like interval between. Chris went for a walk in the woods and he came back. He had a piece of paper that was a gas station receipt, and he had doodled on it this space. We have lots of artist friends, so one of them appeared and built that. It's real. This compass is accurate, so this became the compass room. All the guys on the original carpentry team were architects. They just put on belts because they wanted to work with Chris. And one of them sat down and did a dodecahedron, the math for it. And that, everybody went, yeah, that's it.
The colors here seem pretty deep.
Well, this is part of tapestry of light and dark, first of all, right? We have these dark, small spaces here and in the hallway over there. So you have this tapestry going.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about these are Northwest colors. This is the color of the water, this blue. And it's the brighter, warmer colors that work really well here.
And a lot of people in this climate paint everything gray and think, oh no, I want color. There's enough gray out there. The floor rides the site down. The ridge went down, so the floor went down, which means the ceiling is up. Gave us a 10.5-foot ceiling. So the room has a lot of dignity. It has dignity without being so big that you're lost.
I've been here having drinks, talking in here. Something settles in this room over everybody in it, and it becomes a place of incredible warmth and honesty.
Yeah.
And I can't recount the number of remarkable conversations, feeling conversations here in this room, particularly when there's a fire in the fireplace behind you. It has a spiritual quality. You just feel it.
So upstairs,
If you're able to leave, that is.
we've had people recuperate from surgeries in there.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law brought my son over and dumped him and said, he'll get better right there. So. Lots of very high windowsills on the drop side.
Yeah.
The staircase was fun. It originally was like a railing. That didn't feel right. And then it was a solid wall, and that didn't feel right. So we cut windows in it, and everybody started being ridiculous and hanging through the windows and calling to each other. We thought, that's it. We were playful windows. This was a fairly small space. He cut it into smaller spaces. And it feels nice, especially small space for bed. It's like nothing else is happening there. This is where you go to sleep. You don't need television sets and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's the cozy place to hide out and take naps. Okay, and over here, usually a sink has a mirror over it. But Chris was putting the sink there, and I was thinking, well, wait a minute, shouldn't it be over here? I said, you want to look in a mirror? You want to look at that in the morning? Yeah, I'll take that. There are 2 rooms with toilets. There's a shower room. There's a dressing room. There's a sauna, but there's no bathroom. So it confounds the tax assessor. They can't figure out what to do with that. I hate it when people combing their hair lock the door and nobody can pee. I mean, why do we do that? Why don't we separate these functions so that everybody gets a chance? Artists go crazy when they come here. There's a playful spirit that really gets to people, you know? We decided these are the archer's windows, each one in the castle, defending the castle. This is the elbow room. This is where the house turns. It was really awkward to try to figure out how to use the space. So we made another bed alcove with lots of books. And people go in here and don't come out. They come to visit and you think, breakfast, come on, where are they? The piece at the foot of the bed over the window is tatting. And most of the needlework in here is from women in my family. And it's like an homage to all those women, like, oh my God, how did you do that?
It's one of the last patterns in the book. Things from your life.
Boy, do we have that one. We have both worked in Africa, so there's a lot of artwork from Africa here. This is my commute. I am up 5 steps. I get to make messes up here and never clean them up and do whatever I want with the space. And look at this.
You really feel the ridge.
Yeah,
you can see that over there also.
You can see how far down that is. This is all stuff that I have assembled for writing about the house. And it's all online, what I've done so far. And there's more to come. Alexander sculpts a building out of air and wisdom, waving his hands, squinting his eyes, to see what only he and God can see in this clearing on the bluff. Listening to something we cannot hear, he brings into being a house so solid, silent, and calm, so embracing, consoling, and inevitable, that it draws in and restores every open soul that finds its way here.